Mia, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. We're into 2024.
I
It's
know.
good. It's very good.
Yeah, I am going to spend the next year messing up writing 2023. It's going to happen. My brain is always 1 year behind because you so infrequently need to write the year down that whenever I
Hmm.
do, I'm always like exactly 1 year behind. So it's consistent, but it's horrible.
Consistent. That's all you can ask for, right? But yeah.
Well, I hope you made some New Year's resolutions like only allowing Wrexham to win this year, things like that
Hmm.
to really bring home the pride of the town, of the city.
Yeah. Well, we're unbeaten so far, right? So
Hey,
let's try and keep with that. I don't know how
yeah,
long that'll
I'll
last, but fingers crossed.
I'll take that. And we have a good matchup that should be fun to continue that unbeaten streak against. We are today talking about Cardiff City. We have Mia Roberts, former Wrexham women's team player. She is also Wrexham native, so she's local. I imagine anybody that's watching this needs no introduction at all. And it's more like, who the hell is the guy talking right now? Because we all know who Mia is. So I'm a big American fan, international fan of Wrexham, all things Wrexham. What we do here on Teach Me How to Wrexham is take a little closer look at the teams, also some players, history of maybe the town that they're playing, the history of the word that describes their town, and also a look at the badges. Well, we have the wonderful Mia Roberts today. We're looking at Cardiff City. And Mia, what are some things we need to know about Cardiff City?
Cardiff City, going off football terms, I'd say obviously capital of Wales. As being a North Walian myself, I think we always see the South as a bit of a rival, and unless we're in an international tournament like the World Cup or the European Championships, where Wales has sort of won for once.
Mm,
But yeah, it's capital of Wales. It's probably before the takeover, like I mentioned to you before, Cardiff, Swansea. They're the two probably Welsh teams people were most familiar about, outside of maybe the UK or even just inside the UK, I guess. Sadly, for being from North Wales, we don't really have the same notoriety as happily we do now. But yeah, Cardiff's a massive city. It's really good city as well. Got a great couple of universities down there as well. Obviously, one being in the women's leagues, Cardiff Met, and yeah, it's a great city. It's where obviously the national team plays. Wales play. I've been there a few times to watch the team. Also, just been there on a few trips as well. And yeah, it's yeah, really nice place.
yeah. And so this is another one of the teams for us international fans. If you're looking at Wales, this is on that southern cluster of where most of the Welsh teams play at. So always a lot of traveling for whoever is either playing Wrexham or Wrexham is playing. For you, Mia, in the past, what about Cardiff City as a team? Maybe your experience with them.
In my experience, I've played against their under 19 side twice. I think we played them both times in the 19s finals, when it's the same as the women's first team, in where there's two leagues, North and South League. The winners of them leagues then play each other at the end of the year to have the champion of Wales, I guess. And that's the same in the 19s league as it is in the first teams league, like I say. So yeah, I've played them both. I never played the first team, but yeah, the 19s, really, really good side, beat us both times, sadly. But yeah, I think the women's side, as you can see by the league table and just history in itself, the women's side is has to be regarded as probably the best in Wales.
Mm,
Obviously something Wrexham will be hoping to rectify in the coming years. But as well as that, they've had a really strong men's side in the past as well, who only a few years ago were in the top division in the Premier League, and have been in the Championship for quite a few years now, but remain there and remained a strong side, even though I think they're in a bit of a sticky patch at the moment. But yeah, I'm sure they'll come through it. And it's great to, even though there is rivalry, obviously it's great to see Welsh sides doing well in the English pyramid.
So, Mia, playing the under 19 team, are there any players from who you played or played against that are on the current team that we'll be facing?
Yeah, there was definitely a few, because obviously I played them what would have been 2022 and 2023. No, was it? No, 2022, sorry. And yeah, there would have been a few. Their names escape me now, but there was definitely a fullback who was like a really good player. Because I remember the second time we played them, the first time we played them, the first half they sort of had their pure under 19s side out, and then the second half,
Mm.
at half time it was actually 1-1, and then the second half they brought on a few of the first teamers, and
Oof.
ended up sort of blowing us away a bit. But that obviously was a great experience for all of us, and obviously cool now for us to see that they're established first team players, and we sort of almost went toe to toe with them in a way in our respected age groups. So yeah, that's really cool to see. They've got a really good system over at Cardiff where they're bringing players up from their younger age groups, and I think that's what obviously Wrexham want to do as well, and that's a really key part to women's football growing at the moment, and yeah, it's really really good to see.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be a part of now the biggest Welsh team? Well, okay. This is in my perspective, or SJ, from our perspective, Wrexham women's team is the biggest Welsh team in football. End of sentence, period. Put an exclamation point on that thing. But yeah, how does it feel to have obviously played for Wrexham and then seen it get bigger and larger to the point now where maybe there'll be a debate on who is actually the largest Welsh team?
Yeah, it's honestly, I think you really struggle to put it into words, to be honest. And like you say, not just to have played for the team, but to have supported the team my whole life and also live in Wrexham my whole life, that's adds a lot more to it as well. And yeah, for when you now say to people ask where you're from and you say Wales, and instead of saying Cardiff and your Swanseas, they now know not just where Wrexham is but what Wrexham's all about as well. That's something really special where before people would just sort of go, oh, that's where Gareth Bale's from, or something very loose, and you just have to sort of nod along because you had no point of reference really. But yeah, it's really special, and I think when you talk about the largest team in Wales, it's a really interesting conversation, because I think a lot of Cardiff and Swansea fans will be sat in their armchairs saying, well, we're in the Championship, but until you get to our level or above, then that's when we can have that conversation. But when you look at the levels of engagement Wrexham are getting, the just the number of fans we currently have, not just in Wales, the UK, but across the pond, like with you guys, and I think that's amazing. And I don't know how much Cardiff and Swansea can challenge that, but for all teams in Wales and wherever to grow, that it only helps them as well. So yeah, it's exciting, and I'll quite happily, confidently say I think we are the biggest team in Wales. So
Hey, yes. Yeah. I'll keep saying it, and let us be the deflector shields for any of the hate that's coming out there. If anybody wants to come on and debate who's the largest team, just debate the dumb American. You're going to win. So just do it against me. SJ, did you say something, or was that sign language? Because I did not hear you.
I did say something. Do you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, record attendance at the race course, right?
Oof.
Yeah. That some facts in there, not just some loose wish, but some facts. Largest in Wales.
Yeah, and to that, the Wrexham women's team is always at capacity, and so it's just, if the Wrexham women's team can play at a stadium that can fill more seats, then of course more seats are going to be filled. All right. So SJ, you did a little bit of research on a particular player. I can't wait to find more about every player, every week, every game that we cover. This one is going to be some good information for me, because another one that I don't have a terrible working knowledge of. So I'm going to sit back in my learner's seat with my learning hat on. SJ, go ahead, and who are we talking about, and what do we need to know about him?
So I have a little bio on Rebecca Pritchard, our women's team, number 7. She's 26. My alarm's trying to go off. She is 26, English born, but she's played for Wales, under Wales. So I'm not sure. I'm guessing there's some family relations that are from Wales. Yeah. So she's a midfielder, winger, and she also plays fullback. And then it's hard to... there's not really one place to get history of where she's played. So hopefully I will get this right. And Mia, I might need your help to pronounce one of these. So 2012, 2013, she was in high school, and she went to Llanfyllin, Llanfyllin. So I'm not saying that right, but yeah. Okay. So anyways, the place she went to high school was about an hour away from hour east of Wrexham. And when she was there, she played on the under 16s for the Welsh Cup semifinal. So they did pretty good. And then moving into 14-15, I think she was at Wrexham for the under 16-17s, and they went to the FAW Welsh International team. She played for the FAW Welsh International team. She has 3 international caps as a under 17 player. And she played 2 appearances against Denmark and Greece. So I felt that was pretty impressive. She also played with Luisha Doran, who's on the team now. Did I say that right? Hopefully. Yep. Okay, good. So, little team history with some of the players now. And then 2016 is when the original Wrexham women's team folded. And then so in there, she played for Everton, Aston Villa, Rislington. And then jumping forward, she played 2021-2022 season. She was signed to Wrexham. That was the new team, and they were in the Gennaro Adran North. And then for her stats there, she had 19 appearances, 10 goals, and 7 assists. So pretty good. And then she actually made Team of the Week in November of that season. So really contributed to the run for promotion there. And then 2022-23, this last season, 22 appearances, 7 goals, 10 assists, and then, of course, 1 promotion to the Adran Premier. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the last year it won the Gennaro Adran Trophy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this year so far, so she was one of the 10 women that was signed at the beginning of the season for the semi-pro contracts. And so far this year, she's had 11 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 2 yellows. Whereas before, I didn't find any card statistics. So we're going to say, completely innocent player on the pitch for the rest of her history. And then she also made Team of the Week in September for this season. Other little stuff, her style of play has been called tenacious. She's a tenacious attacking player. And I kind of got the impression she had a little bit of Elliot Lee style, with her being able to do winger position and all of her assists and still, contributing quite a few goals for a midfielder. I'm still not confident in what those stats would normally look like. But when I was kind of trying to compare and get information, it seemed like that was, in the higher numbers for what a midfielder would normally contribute to. And the games I've watched, as a new fan, I don't know a lot of football, but I kind of think, when I hear the commentary and I'm hearing a player's name over and over, Pritchard's doing this, Pritchard's doing that, Pritchard's doing this. It seems to me she's really contributing to the game every match. So I appreciate that. I think that's pretty cool. And then the only little interview tidbit that I have is she was in an article interviewed for The Leader in September last year. And then I have a little quote thing I can hop on. Let's see. So, she's talking about moving into this league that, Wrexham women are in now. And talking about, playing teams that have a more, a longer history with having established women's teams, which is Cardiff City and Swansea. But she said, so we can go and fight for the top position. I think there's no point in thinking we're going to be in a relegation battle competing with the likes of Swansea. So she said, I think you have to have a whole change of, she's talking about really having a competitive mindset and not thinking, oh, well, we're just coming into this and we're going to be facing teams that have so much, support and history behind them, and just really not feeling intimidated about that and really feeling hungry to progress through it anyway. She, talking about the squad having quite a bit of turnover, not quite a bit. Again, as a new fan, I don't know how much is a lot of turnover, but she's talking about the squad turnover and winning promotion and kind of that momentum going forward. She said, I think when you have a whole change of the team, it's obviously going to take a little while to gel, but also, the big confidence boost from last year and faith in the new team and having that determination to, not be intimidated again. I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to watching her on the pitch, and the Cardiff City match will be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and Mia, anything that you know about Pritchard that we need to know or that we should know? Embarrassing things first, please.
I can't really add from the factual point of anything you said. I thought it was all brilliant. Probably best saying more just from a player to player, point of view. Obviously, I've been lucky enough to share a pitch and change room and training day to day with Becks, and she's one of, like you say, she's been described as a really tenacious player on the pitch, and she'll fly into a tackle if she has to. Even if she doesn't have to, she will as well, which is something you always want in your side. But she's also like one of the quietest, nicest girls off the pitch too, and I think that's something that this squad's been really lucky with, the fact they've it's built a group of brilliant players but also brilliant people, and I think you can say that about men's and women's both sides. I've seen it on both ends, and that's something that really helps as well, and Becks is right up there in being unbelievably humble and really down to earth as well. And I remember in that playoff game last year against Britain Ferry, she scored the winner, and it couldn't have gone to a more deserving person. Honestly, she really deserved it. And I think if you remember that goal, you can see the tenacity in her, just in that, the way she's I can still sort of picture it in my mind. The way she's sort of pushed through two or three players and managed to get to that cross from Rosie, and yeah, honestly, I she can play wherever. She's sort of manager's dream to have at their disposal, and I hope she stays at Wrexham for as long as she can, really.
Yeah, we got lucky enough to get a rugby player that decided to play football. She'll just barrel through whoever's in the way. She's like, get out of here. This is my ball.
Yeah.
And for fans, it's wonderful to watch players with that fire and that intensity, a la to your entrance at the race course last season when you came out and just fired up everybody. We as fans, we feed off of that. And so anytime people are playing with that extra energy and that extra passion, it's like our heart races. I don't have to tell you, from you being a lifelong fan of Wrexham, your heart races when you see the players or awesome and amazing plays, amazing shots, and it just blows your mind, and you can't help but get swept up into that emotion and mood, which also has the tail end of getting the negative emotion of a defeat or as a loss. As you're watching this season go along, do you take any of like the plays to heart, or not personally, but you see something going on the field and you're like, oh, if I would have been right there, I would have stopped this. I would have done that.
Yeah, I think you do. I think, I probably do it more weirdly. I probably do it more at a men's game than I do women's, and I've sort of played in that women's side, which is, you might find a bit odd, but I think you do it with anything, don't you? You always have to look at it from a personal from your first person point of view, and obviously having played in that squad with majority of the girls there, at times I know exactly what they're going to do when I watch it, and I can sort of go, oh, well, what would I have done? What would have happened if I was there, or etc. etc. But that's all part of being a spectator, isn't it? That's why we love it so much, because we sort of try and relate and do things like that. But yeah, I in particularly when we're talking about Becks, I loved playing alongside her, and she was honestly one, probably went under the radar too many times for my liking. But yeah, an unbelievable player to play with, and now I'm really lucky that I can still watch her play for Wrexham too.
Yeah, and she had like some killer instincts. Like everybody talks about Rosie and her striking ability and being able to find the goal, but Becks, see, now I'm going to start saying it too. I felt like I've got the secret name and I'm going to say it now. So Becks, yeah, Becks, my good old friend. She has that killer instinct too, where there was that cross that was coming about chest high from corner, and she just angles the ball in, and you're like, where did that even come from? And it's just like not only being able to put her body in the correct position, but technically and clinically being able to finish as well too. Is that something where she's known on the team, being able to be that person in that scenario, or are those standalone plays that you're just like, where did she come from with all that magic?
No, I think everyone sort of respected her and held her quite high in the sort of finishing. I think obviously Rosie's always going to take that number one spot when you think of a someone who will always get a goal and as a striker for say. But no, Becks, like you can. I think for a number of times in cup games, or a couple of times if Rosie was out injured or unavailable for other reasons, if we got a penalty, that ball would be going to Becks. Highly likely it was going to her. And yeah, a lot of trust went into it. Talking about that goal in particular, I sort of remember it. Obviously, I was playing in the game. I remember it sort of happening in slow motion, and from my point of view, being sort of tiredly running out trying to push the team up, I couldn't really see who had scored it. And then after celebrating, Becks was at the bottom of the thing, so it was sort of like, who did it score? Trying to get to see who it was. And then it was only obviously later on in the day when you watch the replay back and just see that she managed somehow to get a toe to it, thank God. And you really see, you sort of question like, how did you do that? But then you go, oh no, it's Becks. She was gonna get a toe to it, whether no matter who was in front of her or whatever. But yeah, she's definitely up there if I had to rank top finishers in that squad.
Ooh, yeah, that's it. That's great stuff. SJ, you picked another banger. I don't know if you can't pick bangers, but you picked another one, another good. You're on fire. That's 3 for 3. Before we talk any predictions, was there any other Pritchard information that we need to know?
Not any like specific facts that I can find. Again, it's frustrating to really want to know more information about the player specifically, and then I use like 4 or 5 different resources to try to put together a bio for her, and I still wasn't totally confident on the information. So, I really want to, I really like doing the bios, and, I want to kind of be able to do reliable information and, have somebody, I didn't go to high school there. I went to somewhere completely different. I was on that team, or, I really like putting the bios together, and I don't know. I don't have any other specific information that I could find on her. But, for the bios, I was kind of thinking, the first one was on Del Morgan, and I didn't want to just do the players that kind of have a perception of being, the most well-known players on the team. Rosie Hughes obviously is like a prime, she's right up there with a more familiar name. But what I'm finding is while I'm doing these bios, Rosie Hughes may be a little more well-known, but like all the women on the team are amazing. So, I'm putting this bio together and I'm like, oh, she's, right up there with, the upper echelons in the team. Like there's no second best on the team. They're just all such a high quality and standard players,
1,000%. And I don't know if you'll ever be able to cover Rosie Hughes, because if you start digging deep and you find out that during the day she doesn't wear a cape, she wears glasses and goes to her regular journalism job, the allure of the superhero legend, it may dissolve in front of you. So be careful, looking into your heroes, because you might be greeted by reality of Peter Parker. Anybody that doesn't watch superhero movies, I was slowly describing Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So looking at the matchup, this is a team that we've seen in the past in Cardiff City of going back and forth, winning the league between them and Swansea. So definitely a tough team that Mia, you faced in the past, a tough team that we as a team has faced in the past. Does anybody want to be so bold to throw out any predictions?
Mia, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because sadly I won't be there. Sadly, well, I say sadly, I'll be in Shrewsbury, watching the men's side, which I'm a bit gutted about. Obviously, I'm very happy I got to go to Shrewsbury, but swings and roundabouts. But no, I'm really excited for this game. For some reason, it sort of passed me by when it got scheduled in, the date of it, because I don't know whether a bit of a, I don't know, it just sort of passed me by when it got announced. But I've heard rumblings that Cardiff are travelling up on the day and not the night before. So for me, that's massive. I think, listen, they'll still be right up for it, but that travel, it's not easy, and it definitely takes a bit out of you. And I think, hopefully the girls recognise that and immediately go, right, we're 1-0 up here, sort of take that and, not sort of use it as an excuse or anything, but take advantage of it, really. I think that's what you have to do in this league. You have to take these little wins where you can. And hopefully we'll get something out of that. But then, doing my research on Cardiff before and seeing they haven't conceded a goal, I don't think since October, it's like one of them.
Yeah.
But then have they faced Rosie Hughes in form, So it's difficult. I think it's going to be a really difficult game, but it's cup football and anything can happen in that. So I'm going to be confident, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Wrexham.
Okay. Are you calling out any of the goal scorers for those two?
I'm gonna say I think Cardiff are going to go 1-0 up.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with too many of their players, sadly, but so I'm not sure who's going to get that goal. But then I think we're going to come back second half, and I think Luisha's going to score from a corner, and then I think the one and only Rosie Hughes is going to score the winner.
Oh, with a dagger, just to close it out. Ooh, SJ, what about you?
Well, you're talking about not conceding any goals. And I think we've seen that a couple of times, facing teams that don't concede goals, and then the women go in and destroy them. So, I could wish that scenario also on this match. Knowing that they're coming up same day, it might be rude to wish cramped legs and exhaustion as contributing to their play. But I don't know. I love a clean sheet, and Del Morgan, so fabulous. I'm gonna go 2-0 Wrexham.
2-0. Yeah. So whoever is going to be the most bold in here, I guess, is going to have to be me. These two scores, I'm going 3. Okay, I'm going 1 up. I'm just for the luck of SJ talking about Pritchard. Pritchard has got to score, so I'll go piggyback. I'll go Rosie Hughes, Luisha, Becks as the goal scoring, and I think it's going to be close. I'll say 3-2. I think there's going to be a couple of goals scored. We've seen that top form be able to score in the past, and history tends to repeat itself. So this should be a tough game and a tough match. And so, I'll go 3-2. If there is a clean sheet, I'll happily celebrate that as well too. You being Del Morgan's clean sheet, let me specify that. Well, anybody that has hung on for this long deserves a little bonus treat of a little badge talk and some etymology. To kick off just the Cardiff etymology, the meaning of the word, actually the beginning of it is a similar, like almost pronoun, a noun part to naming conventions in Welsh that we've seen before. There's Carlisle, Carnarvon, that all start with that C-A-E-R, or sometimes in the anglicized version, C-A-R. And what that means is a fort, a stronghold, or an enclosure. So you see it at those places like on the ports where you would have had some type of fort and fortress. And then it often talks about an area of the town or geologically an area around. And so there's a river Taff that is in Cardiff. So you have the fort on the river Taff, and that's the Taff, the Cardiff. And so that's the formation of the name. So which is really similar to a lot of the names that we've been seeing, just, in either different languages or as languages change throughout time, they all start just plainly saying what they are. Oh yeah, that's Green Hill. And then eventually we get to the point where it sounds to our either non-Welsh ears or non-UK ears. We're like, Cardiff, ooh, that's exotic. Where does that come from? Looking, before I look at the badge, does anybody have any other Cardiff information, since I don't really know Welsh and other things about Wales in too much depth? Mia, was there anything in there that sounded incorrect or anything else you wanted to add?
No, it all sounded like you lived in Cardiff yourself, to be honest. No, all I would add is I'm not too good on my Southern Wales history, but I know, you mentioned the River Taff. I'm pretty sure now, if this is wrong, I'm probably going to get butchered, but I'm pretty sure people from around Cardiff are often known as Taffs.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's like a nickname for them. So I hope I'm not wrong. I'm quite confident in saying that. But yeah, I'm sure there's a ring of truth to that.
That sounds correct. I didn't hear that, but that sounds like things that people just do. Like you're from there. Oh, you're a Taffer, because in German, which English is based off of, Proto-Germanic, if you had an ER at the end as a suffix, that's to denote like the style or the art style in which it came from. So like Wiener Schnitzel, that Wien is Vienna, that in English we call Vienna is Wien, and the ER means like somebody from Vienna. And so like an American is an Amerikaner. And so that's just what it describes. So I could definitely see all of that being a correct scenario. If it's wrong, I'll be shocked, because they're definitely those Taffs there, or Taffers, or I don't know if Taffy comes from stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah. SJ, anything you might have found out about Cardiff?
Can I know that the name Cardiff City just means, a large population center.
Ooh.
How about that? That's all I got. I know. Astounding facts.
Yeah.
I have astounding facts. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah. Blown right away. All right. So that is the Cardiff background of the name. And then now a little crest and badge, like we always love to do on here. If you're looking at the badge right now, you're going to see a bluebird. They are actually known for the bluebirds. The bluebird is the primary symbol of the club, representing the speed, agility, and freedom. It's been a constant element on the badge since 1959, and it is deeply ingrained in the club's identity. And then you're going to see that blue and white shield, and the shield shape echoes the ones used in the 1927 FA Cup final, which was a significant achievement in the club's history. The blue and white background are the club's traditional colors, representing the sky and the sea around Cardiff. And so some good symbology in there. Oh, obviously we see the red dragon at the bottom. As all Welsh teams, we were asking this question. I think it was in the Point de Prix that we didn't get to put out yet. But is every team in the Welsh system the Dragons? Is it a requirement that if you're going to be a Welsh football team, it was like, oh yeah, we'll be facing the Red Dragons, and we'll also be facing the Red Dragons this week. But it's on, obviously these are the Bluebirds, so that nullifies that theory immediately after the last one that we recorded. But still, the Red Dragon's on there. Obviously got to be proud of the Red Dragon. And then this looks like this is the badge that has been used since 2012. There was a rebranding, and that was where the Welsh Dragon was introduced onto the badge. And that's as much as I know about the current badge that's in use. And I don't know if there's anything else that is on there that you guys, one more thing. There is, sorry, the updated lettering font style is actually called the Ninian Park font. And it's the same font that was used on the old entrance to the former stadium that somebody hand painted on. And they use that same font now. And that's a tribute to their historic ground and a connection to the club.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that is Crest and Badge. We have reached the wonderful conclusion of today's episode. Before we jump off, SJ, was there anything about Cardiff that you wanted to let the wonderful fans of Wrexham know, or anything about Wrexham in this match coming up that you want to let us know?
The only thing I have for the match coming up, Cardiff's going to lose. That's the only thing I have.
They're going to lose by, they're going to score less points. I think that will ensure a win. Yeah. Less goals by them will mean that we won.
Yeah.
You heard it here first with that astute analysis that I had. Mia, any closing words or thoughts on Sunday's matchup?
I think it's just best to say that North Wales is and always will be superior. So,
yeah.
I think I might ruffle some bluebird feathers there, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a dragon can destroy a bird.
Yeah, I mean, technically they have the dragon on there too, so it's
ours is bigger.
We got two, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Mia, so much for joining us on today. As always, thank you, SJ. And remember, grab your closest friend that's next to you, and always up the town.
Up the town.
Up the town.
Bye, guys.